This is APA Style Part 2 or Video 2. This video will talk about the reference citation, and we'll also talk about what is required in a reference citation. Here is what Video 2 covers. It includes topics and the time in this video where you can jump right to that topic if desired. This slide shows what is required in an APA reference citation. The key idea in creating a citation is you need to put in the citation the information necessary for your reader to find a resource. And the APA style has identified 4 parts of a citation that you need to have, and these 4 parts are called elements. And there are 4 elements. The first one is the author, the next one is the date, the third one is the title, and the fourth one is the source. The APA citation style has 2 broad categories of resources for citation purposes that are useful to know about. There are works that stand alone. These are works that are not part of anything larger, and under this definition we have books, reports, dissertations, and web pages. Then the other category is works that are part of a greater whole. These are works that do not stand alone. They are part of something bigger. For example, a journal article is part of a specific journal and so does not stand alone. This is important to know because there are rules in APA citation style that are different for these 2 broad categories of resources. And for the purposes in this video, from here on we will refer to works that stand alone as books and works that are a part of a greater whole as journal articles, just to keep it simple. I am going to use 2 examples, one of a book and one of a journal article, in the following part of the video to show how to create citations for these 2 types of resources. On the screen now we have the example that I'm going to use for a book. This book is called Find It Fast: Extracting Expert Information from Social Networks, Big Data, Tweets, and More. And what you are seeing on the screen is the record for this book in our library catalog. The second example is of a journal article that you see on the screen now. This is a journal article that I wrote several years ago when I lived in Oklahoma. So this I will use as an example of a journal article. This is the record of this journal article in one of our databases. Okay, now back to the 4 elements of an APA citation. We will talk about each one in succession, beginning with the author element. APA style defines an author as a person or group responsible for a work, plus others who played a primary role in the creation of a work. The author element always appears first in an APA citation, unless there is no author listed. The author's name always appears inverted. That is, the last name appears first, and the first initial of the first name, and then the first initial of the author's middle name as follows. So in the example we have Berkman, R.I. Berkman is the last name, R and I are the first and middle names. Now in our example, the book we had, Find It Fast, the author was R.I. Berkman. That's how it would be put in the APA style citation. Now for a journal article, it's the same thing. You have the name inverted and the first and middle initial there. Now some more that you'll need to know about the author. For 2 or up to 20 authors, that's right, 20 authors, Put a comma between each author's name and then use the ampersand before the final author's name, like as shown below. So you have Miles DB, comma, Shepard WD, comma, and with the ampersand, Menon KS. The second element in an APA style citation is the date. So the APA style defines the date as the date of publication of a work. The date of publication always appears after the author information in an APA citation, and the date of publication is always in parentheses. So let's go to our examples again. So the date element can take several different forms. It could be the year only. This is used in books and journals, and the year is always the copyright date. You could also have a year, a month, and a day used in magazines and newspapers in the order indicated there, the year first, then the month, and then the day. You could also have year and month. That could be used in magazines also. You could also have year and season, also used in magazines. You could have year and month. That is used in magazines or journals. Also year and season. That could also be used in magazines or journals. And you could also have a range of dates. Here is our example again for the book Find It Fast. We have the date indicated there in parentheses. And for the journal article, we have the author and then the publication date in parentheses again. The third element of an APA citation is the title. The title is what a work is known by. The title element always appears next after the date element in a citation or reference. Here is our book example again. We have the title now listed, Find It Fast. But many books have what's called a subtitle. A subtitle is separated from the main title by a colon. For some books, there is a third part to the title element, and that is the edition or volume. In this book, Find It Fast, it was the 6th edition, so we had to put the edition or volume after the subtitle, and that edition or volume is put in parentheses. Now here are some additional title element rules that we have for books. As you can see here, the title of this book and all books needs to be in italics, and you also need to capitalize the first letter of the first word in the title. So for Find It Fast, the first letter of find is capitalized, and the same thing for the subtitle. You have to capitalize the first letter of the first word in the subtitle. And another thing that you need to be aware of is that the title and the subtitle are in what is called sentence case. That means that, again, the first letter of the first word only is capitalized, and all the other words are not capitalized, just like it would be in a regular sentence. Now we're going to go into the example for the journal article. So we show the title of the article, and then also there's a subtitle of the article, and so now that we show. Now here are some additional title element rules for journal articles, and so here in our example that we've been using, we need to capitalize the first letter of the first word in the title of the article and in the subtitle, just like for books. The title and subtitle is in sentence case, just like for books. The title of the journal is in the source element. The title of the journal is in italics. There are two titles in a journal article citation. There's the title of the article and the title of the journal itself. And so the journal title is what is italicized, not the title of the article. And another thing that is shown here is that sometimes the title of an article may be in quotation marks in the original article, and that's the case here. Educate or We Perish was in quotation marks in the title in the journal itself, and so we have to put that in here. Another thing is that if there are proper nouns in the title, then those need to be capitalized. So example here, Armstrong Academy is a proper noun, and so is Choctaw, so those need to stay capitalized. The fourth element is source. The source indicates where your readers can retrieve the cited work, or in other words, the location of the cited work. Now, the source element can be a little bit more tricky because there are so many different parts to it. Books, there can be two parts to the source element. There could be the publisher and a DOI or URL. For journal articles, there can be up to 4 parts to the source element. You can have the periodical title, the volume or issue, the page numbers, and a DOI or URL if the source is online. So here is our example for the book Find It Fast. So what we have to put in there is the publisher, and the publisher was CyberAge Books. Now the source element for our journal article is a little bit more complex. So the first part of the source element is the journal title, Chronicles of Oklahoma in this example. So part 2 is the volume and issue of that journal. So this article appeared in volume 89, issue 3 of Chronicles of Oklahoma. The third source element part is the pages where the article is found in the journal. And finally, the fourth source element is the DOI or URL if online. Now, the Chronicles of Oklahoma doesn't have DOIs in their journal article, so I just put that there so that you could see where it would be if you did find the DOI. Here is the online survey for video 2. Please copy the link here or use your phone to scan the QR code that will take you to the survey. And that's all, folks. You can now proceed to video 3.